Namaste, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Unlikely Sisters, the tale of five Digital Naaris. And I'm a Libra girl, your Bengali wordsmith with a heart that questions everything.
And I am Taurus Girl, your grounded Mumbai ki soul with fire, faith, and filtered coffee.
And today we aren't just telling a story, we are awakening a storm.
A storm that wore no armor, spoke no lie, and bowed to no man. A poet, a mystic, a woman who walked ahead of her time with fire in her eyes and devotion in her heart.
Let's go back to 12th century to a small village in Karnataka in a world where women's name rarely made it into the history. One little girl decided that she will write her own destiny in poetry and protest. She was born Mahadevi. The world would later call her Akka. That meant elder sister of every woman who ever dared to speak her truth.
From childhood, she was devoted to Lord Shiva, her Chena Mallikarjuna. But this wasn't the devotion of fear, it was love without boundaries, it was surrender with strength.
Just imagine this, a teenage girl centuries ago writing verses that question caste, patriarchy, and power. When most women were told to stay silent, she became that echo that refused to fade.
She just didn't pray, she protested through her prayers. And that's what made her a legend before legends even had a name. This part of her story shook kingdoms and still shakes the patriarchy. When King Kaushika wanted to marry her, she refused to be owned like an ornament in his court.
She walked away from gold, from comfort, from the cage of respect. She left behind her silk and her shame and chose truth over tradition.
Be aware, people, you might think her nudity was rebellion for attention, but it wasn't. It was rebellion for liberation. She said to the world, I belong to no one but the truth itself.
And that one act made her India's first fearless feminist mystic, a woman who said, if the divine lives unclothed, why must I cover my soul to make you comfortable?
In an era that worshipped male saints, she stood tall, reminding the world that spirituality has no gender and dignity has no dress code.
And her poetry, the vachanas, were not gentle verses, they were lightning bolts. She wrote truth the way others wrote hymns, loud, raw, and real.
What a line! She tore apart hypocrisy with words sharper than swords. Her pen didn't beg for space, it created it.
And when she entered the Anubhava Mantapa, the first spiritual academy led by Alama Prabhu, she didn't enter quietly. She debated, she challenged, she was questioned for her body, but she answered with her brilliance.
She wasn't seeking validation, she was demanding recognition. That's why they call her Akka, not as a name, but as respect for her.
Okay, guys, fast forward to today where we hashtag empowerment but still struggle to live it. Akka Mahadevi's lesson feel more relevant than ever.
Lesson 1: Authenticity is the purest revolution. When everyone's chasing perfection, filters dare to show your scars. They are your story.
Lesson number two, defy with grace, and you don't have to shout to be powerful. Sometimes silence can shake the system louder than noise.
Lesson 3: Purpose over popularity. Akka didn't live for applause, she lived for alignment. When your actions mirror your beliefs, you don't follow trends, you create movements.
And she taught us that devotion isn't weakness, it's power that's gentle yet unbreakable.
And that feminism isn't about rivalry, it's about reclaiming your right to exist as your truest self.
So Akka Mahadevi was the first woman to say, my truth doesn't need your approval. Long before hashtags, she lived what we now call as freedom.
She was a feminist before feminism had vocabulary, a spiritual warrior before self love became a slogan, a woman who walked away, not out of anger but out of awakening.
She showed that rebellion isn't always rage. Sometimes it's all about peace. And that is the most radical act for a woman is to choose herself.
Her courage burned centuries ago, yet the flame still lights every woman who dares to dream beyond the boundaries set for her.
So Akka Mahadevi's story isn't just history, it's her story. And it's a reminder to every woman that freedom begins the day you stop apologizing for your own truth.
And remember that you don't have to fit into the world. You can shape it. That your body isn't your shame, it's your strength. And that your voice, no matter how soft, can echo louder than centuries of silence.
So, to every listener, you may carry her fire in your heart before. Her courage wasn't meant to be admired, it was meant to be continued by courage, devotion, authenticity. That's the legacy of Akka Mahadevi. That's the heartbeat of every Indian woman who refuses to bow to the patriarchy. Okay, guys, we will be back with our next podcast. Until then, stay tuned.